And hello everyone, Lights and Gear is back with another flashlight review, and it's been a while since I've talked about or looked at or tested any Fenix flashlights. So when I saw one of their latest ones here, which happens to be an itsy bitsy EDC light, I thought, whoa, caught my interest, so here is the Fenix E16. As you can see, perhaps, if you can tell from the box, it's a very small light, and it says so right here that it's only 2 inches long, or tall, which is correct, and it weighs just over 1 ounce, but has over, or just about, 700 lumens of output, if you're using the correct battery. And it is a portable, obviously, high-performance EDC light with a 5-year warranty from Fenix. And here are your battery choices right here. It's either 16340, which is the recommended battery, the lithium rechargeable, or a disposable CR123. Side of the box, not much, but a couple of pictures. On the back, you get a little bit of information here, which does actually give the stats of the light, weights and measures and so forth, and tells you what is inside the box. So let's open this up and take a look at it for ourselves. So here's the flashlight, and by the way, the box has this little peekaboo, this little magnetic closure here and a peekaboo window in there, which on the other side here actually does give a little bit of information. And also does tell you that in this particular case it's a neutral white LED, which adds better color rendition to outside objects at night. Obviously at night, not during the day anyway. But anyway, so it has a neutral white LED. And there are your batteries. And here it gives you the outputs. Low is 3, medium is 30, high is 150, and turbo is 700. That's if you're using the correct battery, the 16340. If you're using a CR123, the turbo output would be 300. All the other outputs remain the same. But, of course, your battery runtime changes and is actually longer with a CR123 since there's lower output. And it is also impact resistant to a meter. It's waterproof to 2 meters underwater, and it has a pretty good beam distance as well. Okay, on with the package. So here's the flashlight. In addition to that, you have the manual right here, which has lots of good information. Here's another card with some alternate lights, and here's a warranty card, and you also have a little accessory package here. You have a key ring in here, so you can attach it that way if you wish. There's also a spare O-ring and a lanyard. So, alright, let's just take a quick look at the manual. And it is in many and varied languages. English is hiding in here somewhere. But just on the fan fold in here, it does give you the basics and how to operate it. It's very, very simple. And it also has a lockout function, and there are 2 ways in which you can lock it out so it doesn't turn on accidentally. The beam distance is 142 meters on turbo mode, and it does reasonably well at night. I'll show you some outdoor photos here in a moment. And a little bit of information here. It does carry, or it does use, a CREE XP-L HI LED to achieve its output, neutral white. It also has a magnetic tail, so it'll stick to magnetic surfaces. It's digitally regulated, so it'll maintain its constant brightness, and it's also hard anodized. And does have a low voltage warning as well, and I believe that works by having the light flash at you a couple of times every few minutes when the battery gets close to 3 volts. Also has overheat protection and mode memory, if I haven't mentioned that already. So let's see, the flashlight. As you can see, there's a pocket clip attached, and one of the ways to lock the light out would be to turn the clip so it covers up the switch. So that'll be one way, if it's in your pocket, of not having it turn on. And the other way of locking it out is to give the switch 2 quick presses like that, and then it blinks at you twice, and now it's locked out. Except with every press it'll still blink twice, so it's not like it won't turn on at all. It'll still just do 2 quick blinks if it's pressed at all. But you know, and then to unlock it, you just do the same thing again. You press it twice, and then it'll come on in the last mode it was used in. So turning it on is as simple as pressing and holding, and the same thing with turning it off. There's also a strobe mode, and for that you have to press excuse me, for that you press and hold, and that can be done whether it's on or off. And in this instance I'm doing it from off, and as you can see it comes on for a second in the last mode used and then goes into strobe. One quick press will take you back to the mode it was in before. And strobe will also work if it's on. You just have to hold it for a second, and then it'll turn off and come back on in strobe, because pressing and holding is how you turn it off, but for strobe you just have to hold it an extra half a second. Now here's the LED. It's very shallow in here, so meaning that it has a very nice beam, and it's not, it is more of a flood beam, but I mean, as you can see from the LED, it's not within a deep reflector or anything, and it's a different kind of reflector here. So the beam produced is very nice and very uniform. Anyway, the one switch, as you've already guessed, is the way to operate the light. And as I said before, the bottom is magnetic, so anything will stick to it just like that. And as far as the battery, well, let's take the head off, which is the way to insert the battery. Doesn't come off. The tail cap here does not come off. Inside the light is the spring down in the tube there. So anyway, here's an example of course, the battery I recommend. Not necessarily a Claris, but the 16340 16340 is what I would recommend to use, and that's where you're going to get the highest output of 700 lumens. Now the one thing to mention regarding turbo, and this is rather important, is that you're not going to get a whole lot of turbo out of one particular battery unless you use it sparingly. Now I can get turbo out of this at the moment, but if you leave it on for a few minutes, it's probably going to dip down to high, or somewhere between high and medium. And it's going to do that because the battery voltage is dropping. So what this light needs to operate on turbo is a good strong battery, or a good fresh battery, or one that's been recently charged. So it needs the highest voltage possible in order to work on turbo. If you put in a battery that's 80% or even 90%, you're not going to get turbo out of the light. Chances are you're only going to get low, medium, and high. So just keep that in mind. So when using turbo, I would use it sparingly, and it does start to get quite warm on while it's on turbo as well, so a little bit uncomfortable to hold perhaps, but again, you're going to wear the battery down a lot quicker, and then you're not going to have the use of turbo unless you have a spare battery in your pocket. So let me turn off the light here, and here, and here, and I'll press the button, or rather press and hold the button. And right now we're in medium, and if you can tell at all from, I think this is a better way of telling here by not shining it directly on the light, you can sort of see this warm color, the warm tint, the neutral white. It's actually, to me, it's a little bit warmer than neutral white. But it is a nice color, and it's not an overly floody beam either. It does have a hot spot. But anyway, this is medium, and if I give it one, and when I'm pointing it on this wall, it doesn't look so terribly warm again. It looks warm when I'm like this, sort of up close. And now it's actually lost it at this point. The camera has sort of adjusted to the light, but it looks a little cooler now since the camera's been on it for a minute or two. But this is medium, so giving it one little press, I'll go to high, and then here's turbo. And as you can see, turbo is very bright, and will certainly get you the kind of light you need for a short period of time. Now if I just click it again, I'll go right back down to low. And you've already seen how I have locked it and unlocked it, and how I've also gotten to the strobe mode before. And there is no SOS or anything on this. It just has strobe as the only flashing emergency mode. So again, this is the Fenix E16, and for what it is, I think it's a very nice little light. There's not a lot of bells and whistles. It just does what it does. It's not USB rechargeable or anything like that, so there's not a whole lot more to tell you on it other than you can... Well, actually, I was going to show you those outdoor pictures, so since I was almost going to forget, let's do that right now. Okay, and below here, or rather in the description, is a link to purchase this light on Amazon. So if you'd like to click over there and take a look at it on Amazon, take a look at its product page on Amazon, you can do that. And my full written review with another link of the same, with more pictures, by the way, 2 more outdoor pictures, is at lightsandgear.com. So you can click the link in the description below for that and visit my written review and take a look at some more outdoor and indoor pictures. So anyway, Fenix E16 has been our light today. I like this little light. I think it's great for an all-purpose general light. You certainly can't go wrong as it being... you can't go wrong as an EDC light, because for an everyday carry you can't get much smaller than this, and it'll certainly go anywhere and everywhere. So it's only the limitation of the length of time that it can stay on turbo, which I wouldn't recommend it as perhaps a hiking flashlight or anything, just for that reason. But for everything else, it's pretty darn near perfect. So anyway, that's the Fenix E16. Hope you've enjoyed the review. If you do have any questions or comments, of course, let me know below, and visit lightsandgear.com for my full review, plus more flashlights, batteries, and chargers. I wish you well, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.